I've got another 6 Game Boy Color box complete games to add to the Nintendo Game Boy Color collection. There's some great games here. I've tested every single one of them. I've put them in box protectors. There are some that are better than others. They're all good deals. I'll show you on the screen footage of each game, tell you what I think of each game. I'll show you how much money I saved. I think I've got a really good deal on all of them. Before we jump into that, I need to show you this. I have got the little stand has finally arrived. I know I talked about in the previous 2 videos or so. So finally, a little stand has come so I can stop damaging the boxes from opening up the box protectors all the time, and I can keep the games out loose. Here's a problem as always. I've just put games in there. I've got 1 slot left. So these are like £20 a pop. If anyone wants to know where to get these from, give me a shout and I'll redirect you where to go. But I believe they were from Etsy. And it's the same gentleman that makes my Sega Game Gear stands. Before you ask, no, I don't get any commission or free stuff, and he doesn't know who I am. But if you want to know where I get them from, obviously you can do the same thing. But whether I will carry on with these, I don't know, because I've already got 1, 2, 3, 4 of those Game Gear stands. I need another one. I'm just constantly, I should have like a standing order with him, because I'm constantly buying them. Right, I've got some banger of some Nintendo Game Boy Color games. The collection's going real strong. We've got like 15 or 20 box complete games, which I feel like has been the main focus of 2024, really, has been the Game Gear collection. I was talking to my friend earlier, who just commented in a previous video, Alex, Star Gamer. He said about going to a rabbit hole with the Game Boy Color stuff. And I said, yeah, it's been more like the last month or so. I feel like 2024 has been more Game Gear only, but I haven't really brought much retro. So just talking out loud and just saying it now, I think I've sold a lot of stuff this year. I think going into 2025, I do want to carry on with these collections with the Game Gear and the Game Boy Color, but I also want to venture into Sega Dreamcast, because I know I've talked about it sporadically across the last half a dozen videos or so, but I really neglect my Sega Dreamcast, and I would love just to play it more, play some of the games I've got and get some more games for it. And I kind of feel like I'm a bit of a stagnant sort of stop patch in terms of NES, Super Nintendo, N64, Sega Mega Drive. I'm not too bothered with those at the moment. I've had lots of play with those in the last 5 years or so. And the Wii I played was collecting quite a bit on the Wii actually, wasn't I, early 2024. But yeah, so I think 2025 you'll see more Game Gear, more Game Boy Color, and hopefully some Sega Dreamcast. But of course, let me know what it is you guys want to see and what you're collecting and what you're planning for, because I am all over the place like a magpie of a shiny thing. Right, the first game we're going to jump into, because this is fantastic, right? Micro Machines V3. Not the cheapest game on the system, but I got it at an absolute bargain. I got a really good deal on this, and it plays really, really well. Anything that's got Game Boy Color only 4 on, which is a clear cartridge, has been made just for that hardware. So the colouring's bright, the it's really, really good. Obviously, it is just a Game Boy, so it has its limitations. With some games, which you'll see as this video progresses, we get through the other titles, particularly the one that come in next. But this is literally, it's like you're playing on the Mega Drive. Everything's the same. And because it's that top-down sort of zoomed out screen, if you like, display, you're not really losing anything. That's as good as the other systems. It really is. It's barely a port. It's literally like hand in hand. It's a really, really good game. But yeah, really happy. Very good sort of collector's condition. I just bought that game singly, I think, just from eBay or Vinted. I think it was eBay, but I'll pop it on the screen if I find it. But I've got a really good deal, and it came in its own box protector, I believe. Actually, no, it's quite flimsy, so that might have been mine. But yeah, really, really good game. This game come with no box protector. It's a series of games I have never really played. I've got some on the Sega Mega Drive. Toy Story 2, so loved the films as a kid. This was the first full computer animated film of all time, Toy Story, little fact for you. But yeah, I remember that. My sister loved it. I think she had Aladdin. I was about to say one of my sisters had Toy Story wallpaper, but she didn't. She had Aladdin, so I've just completely made that up. But yeah, really, really cool game. The footage on the other systems of these games look fantastic. Super Nintendo, Mega Drive. It does look good on this platform. However, You'll see on the screen now. Buzz just looks sus. I don't know what's going on with Buzz, but he doesn't look too great in the scaled down handheld version. Yeah, the box wasn't in the greatest condition. I've put it in a box protector, but you can see it's a bit mismatched, a bit mashed up. But yeah, really solid game, solid title. It's just a cool one to have in the collection. The price that I found it at, I was like, I can't just leave it there. I need to pick it up. So yeah, that's Toy Story 2. Again, it does look great. It does look great. It's just it's not a direct port from the other systems. Let's be honest. Now these next 4 games, I got all together from one collector, and he's definitely a collector because they came in solid, rigid box protectors. They're all in fantastic, immaculate condition. And I think I put a couple of offers in, and basically it worked out to it's less than £10 a game, pretty much like £9 a game. And I was like, and they're not massively, you know, spoiler alert, I'll just pop this one on the screen. They weren't massively exciting games, but there was a couple of games in there which I wanted. There was 2 in particular I wanted, 2 I wasn't bothered about. This was one of them. And I'll show you the other one. Not interested. Paintball. But I played them all. They're really solid games. They're all exclusives other than one for the Game Boy Color. So graphically, they're fantastic. And I just thought to myself, if I saw in a retro independent store any of these games at £10 in this condition, I'll be snapping off the clerk's arm off. Clerk? Who am I saying clerk? The shopkeeper. Who am I saying shopkeeper? Whoever's running the goddamn store, I'll be snapping his arm off to buy a game that's 30 years later from it come out in this condition. So yeah, so I had to like have a little chat to myself. I was like, Scott, what are you doing? So I think I ended up paying the full £40, and it was a free posting packaging as well. What a bargain. So yeah, you've already seen this one. We've teased it. So I love my like track and field hyper sports, my favourite arcade games of all time. And graphically, the colours and everything, this is beautiful. I just did a quick ski jump with it. Really, really good. But how good the actual game is, I could not tell you. Now this game, phenomenal. This was one of the ones I wanted. V Rally. And this is amazing on the Game Boy Color. It really is. It's that sort of outrun graphics from behind the car, because obviously they're limited with the Game Boy Color. That sort of third car view, I should say. But doesn't do it justice. The pictures on the back, it is really, really fun and solid. It plays really, really well. It'd be nice now if there's a Chase HQ on the Game Boy Color, because that would play beautifully. Because if this does, that would as well. So it'd be the same view. But yeah, felt like I was just proper Sega Rally in it. Really, really solid game. Great graphics. One of the reasons why I wanted the bundle. The other reason why I wanted it was for WrestleMania 2000. Now, I had this game. This doesn't say it's an exclusive Game Boy Color game, so it's a black cartridge compatible on Game Boy as well, of course without colour. I had this game, but I don't know what I had it on. I either had it on the N64, the Sega Dreamcast. I guess that's it. What else was it in? It was on the N64, wasn't it? I either had it on the Game Boy Color or 64, or both. I don't know what I had it on, but I gave it a quick play and fired it up to see if it would kick some nostalgia and some memory into me, but it didn't. It shows you on the back, which is nice, if you put it in the Game Boy, what the graphics would be. So it's quite nice. They're like, look, if you ain't got a Game Boy Color, don't worry, you can play this version. But the wrestling games on the Game Boy is that zoomed out style. They haven't moved on much graphically from the predecessor, you know, from the previous console, from the Game Boy going to colour. It literally is just colour added and a slight upgrade. It's not like WoW, like some of these other games. So unfortunately, it's sort of a zoomed out Game Boy screen. So yeah, maybe the screen's just a bit too small to handle everything that's going on, which is weird. You think it's just a wrestling ring with 2 men in the middle. You don't even need a ref. Do you know what I mean? He's not even on the screen in these early games. So why they couldn't make it better, I don't know. There's not much detailing, is there, with the crowd? Says the greatest wrestling game ever created. That's a lie. Unless No Mercy was after this, because No Mercy was the best game. But yeah, this and No Mercy on the 64 was the GOAT. Really was. Or the Dreamcast, whatever you was playing it on. But yeah, that's what I got. And the last game, I played a paintball game on Game Pass or PlayStation Plus. It was dreadful. It was like it was an old school game. Got to be Game Pass. I feel like it was an Xbox title or something like that. Oh, it could have been PS2. Anyway, I digress. It was dogger. That was absolute dogger. But this, Ultimate Paintball, didn't play how I thought it was going to be. That played like third-person tactical shooter, which it is. This plays like, it's like tactical overhead map view. Put where you're starting, they pin out. A bit like a chessboard, like where you're going to start out, where you're going to move to. And then it turns into a first-person shooter kind of view. Kinda. Very unique. I put some footage on the screen, as you can see. But graphically, again, the scenery, the background, the trees, the forest. I mean, that is all that's there, but it's beautiful. Just love the colours and the Game Boy Color. Which is why I went for this bright stand. So I was like, my favourite colour's green. Don't know if anyone's clocked onto that. But I just love oranges and purples and everything. I just tried to get every colour I could in that stand, because that is why, yeah, man, that turquoise, oh, it's on the R, isn't it? Oh, that'll get you wet, baby, that turquoise green. But yeah, those are the games. So I can fan myself. We've got another 6 added to the collection. Absolutely buzzing for that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the Game Boy Color pickups. This might be the last Game Boy Color pickup of 2024. The next video you'll see, I'm hoping to be on the Sega Game Gear, because I'm still waiting a bundle from that. And I got a gift from another YouTuber who I'm gonna, I say a gift, he picked it up for me. So I am going to hopefully do that video next. And then I want to, before Christmas, get out a video on some family board games to play as Christmas, because I love board games as much as I love video games, probably more, in fact. So I want to pull out like my top 5 easy to play games as Christmas, in case people are into that. But if you're not, go watch someone else. What do I care? Anyway, it was Scott from Mania for Gaming. Hit the like button. Please subscribe. Helps the channel massively. Check out in the comments. You can see the little link to the Discord, which is free, which is a little community app which you can go on to. If not, that's all I want to say. Other than Play Expo. Tickets are out already. I got my ticket today for Blackpool for next year. So the weekend, 4th, 5th, 6th, already out. So already got our tickets. Best weekend ever of my life last year. So 100% looking forward to being back in 2025. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. I'll see you next time for another video. Bye. I'm Mario. And I am the Hedgehog. And today, with this...